Peloquin, also known in other circles as G. Pelly.
This is Caleb Myers, and in every single circle, I'm known as Caleb Myers. Except for my family, they call me KB, but that's about it. It's the only nickname.
KB?
Yeah. Actually, people who have known me for a long time from the card shop also call me KB.
So does that mean when you get new toys, they're KB toys?
Yes. I liked that store quite a bit when I was a child, because I thought it was named after me. But I was 8, so you can't make fun of me for that.
It was a sweet store.
It was an awesome store.
So anyway, we're talking. Let's step back to the present here. I see Charles Bryant playing Chris Hong.
I'm going to flip over Chris Hong's list and take a wild guess at what he's playing. Oh, it's something that looks like a Delver deck.
There was no Delvers.
I know, but it looks like it. So he is on the America Flash.
This looks pretty close to the Jerry T list. 2 Supreme Verdicts, and then 1 of Rewind, Counterflux, Dissipate, and Is It Charm. So he's got 4 counter spells, Sphinx's Revelations, Angels, Augurs, Snapcasters. We all come to know and love these cards.
There's a Rune Chanter's Pike in this deck.
Just 1. So that changes the math a little bit because when you Thought Scour, you also oftentimes want Thought Scour them so you don't mill your 1 Pike.
Right.
And Charles is playing the John deck that he's played so often here.
Yeah.
And you see that Charles is anticipating a quick match. He hasn't taken his coat off.
I like it.
And it looks like Chris Hong's on the play. They both keep their 7. See a Hallowed Fountain from Chris, and probably some kind of Pain Land from Charles, I'd imagine. There's a Blood Crypt and a pass. Okay.
Yeah. I had a chance to play Charles in this tournament.
And I played Chris.
Right on.
No, I lost. It's a write-off.
Maybe I didn't play Charles in this tournament. Maybe I played him the week prior. But
It all runs together, right?
We've played a lot.
A little bit.
This matchup.
All right. So anyway, no play for. Looks like Chris is playing a little reactively. Of course, the Flash deck is called Flash because it plays on the opponent's turn.
Yep.
So 3 turns and no action from either player. That means no key runes, no remove. Like I bet you Charles handles a lot of the sorcery speed removal. And I see there's looks like a Mizium Mortars there, a Dreadbore, a Huntmaster. So I imagine we're gonna route the Huntmaster here.
Is that a Garruk hiding in there?
Yeah.
So
Garruk, the Garruk is on fire. Or not.
Master resolves. Charles goes to 22.
And that's Is It Charm, and he quickly Is It Charms the Huntmaster to pick that
break
off.
that off.
Yeah.
4 mana for a 2/2 wolf, and that'll be about it.
And there's still a wolf hanging out, but that's pretty easy to deal with. In fact, Chris has Restoration Angel in hand; he can just block it immediately. So let's see if Charles is going to run that wolf right in there. Actually, I'd be okay with that, attacking with the wolf here.
Because you have that sorcery speed removal that you want to.
And you notice how Chris has Dissipate in his hand.
Yep.
So Charles is hoping you play Garrick here if Chris taps out for Angel. But Chris correctly does not because he has Dissipate in here. And here comes the Garrick. Oh, Thrag Tusk, he can't Dissipate fast enough. That Dissipate was ready. You notice it's also Snapcaster Mage, so he can immediately Snapcaster Dissipate here to stop any Garrick shenanigans.
I like Charles leading with the Thrag Tusk though, because sticking a Garrick against this Flash deck seems.
So if he tries to do that here, what I would do is actually, if I'm Chris, I'm going to Snapcaster. I'm going to target Is It Charm and to counter the Garrick, and that way you save the Dissipate for the Restoration Angel. So you get Restoration Angel, blink Snapcaster, and then immediately flash back and get Dissipate too.
I like that.
So he's going to want to name Is It Charm because Charles is probably going to tap out for it, for the Garrick. Okay, so for 2, and once again Chris takes it, and here comes Garrick. Oh no, 6.
He's wolf running.
Oh, is he? Oh, that's easy. Snapcaster immediately blocks that, and then
no, he's going to Snapcaster.
Is It Charm it? Okay.
I don't mind that. I actually like that play by Charles because it makes Chris have to actually do something about the wolf.
Right, he's playing around any potential counter magic. So now the Snapcaster has free reign. He can still if he gets one more land here, and there it is, he can still do the play mentioned earlier, which is Restoration to blink Snapcaster and Dissipate something.
Yeah.
That may well come into play here in just a minute.
It's true.
And the funny part is Chris has Sphinx's Revelation in his hands. So even if Chris doesn't do anything, even if Charles does nothing, Chris can still draw 4 cards. Anyway, I'm sorry, you were asking a question here?
I was going to ask if Charles has Bonfires in this deck.
Bonfire of the Damned, I see Mizium Mortars.
Okay.
And no Bonfire.
All right, because he snapped through his card,
So
and I was just
there's Huntmaster of the Fells, and he's doing just that. Restoration Angel, blink, and there's the Dissipate. I've also played against Chris playing this deck at least a half dozen times. So a lot of these plays are... I don't play the deck personally, but I've played against it enough to where I've kind of learned some of the tricks. And there's the Dreadboard to take out the Angels. So back to square 1 here. And
I don't mind Charles's position if it weren't for that Sphinx's Revelation in Chris's hand.
Let me tell you about that card.
It's a very good one.
Yeah, it's probably one of the top two best cards in this format. Direct Tusk and Direct Tusk and Revelation are probably two of the best cards in the format.
Yeah, pretty easily.
Because this lets you just pull right ahead. Because notice that Chris is exchanging 1-for-1 here or better in a lot of scenarios. So now he gets to fill up again right after this. Whereas Charles is still working with the starting set of cards. Yeah, that's fine. Let him have it and probably get White a Tomb here. I don't think it matters too much. Yeah, it's a Tomb. Okay.
So if you're Charles here, do you play around a counterspell or you just run it out there?
You have to now. You have
at this point, you've seen 2 counterspells go and a Snapcaster, and there's nothing in the graveyard 2 Snapcasters.
No, what a lot of players don't know is if you follow the development of this Flash deck, they run 4 counterspells main.
Yeah. I've also played against Chris on a couple times with this deck, and after the first
There's
counterspell or 2 are used, I just start running everything at him and see if he has it.
Yeah, it looks like this Garrick might happen here. So Chris is contemplating probably Scouring to try to draw a counterspell, which would be correct. So you want a you probably want a Thought Scour here, and that's a Resolve. Okay.
I think Thought Scour would have been good too because he could also have drawn. If he put a counterspell into his graveyard and drew a Snapcaster, that would be another way he could get.
But the issue here is there's only 4 counterspells in the deck, so his odds of hitting it are pretty slim.
Right.
So he's going to draw 4 here, gain 4, 2, 3, and there's 4. 3 lands in Azorius Charm. Not what you want to see off of Sphinx's Revelation.
Nope.
And leans in, look at the Garrick. That's a Garrick, Chris. Still a Garrick. And I didn't see what card. He flips his cards so fast it's hard to tell. But fortunately, it's easy to spot those hideous white-bordered islands in his hand.
That is why he has the white-bordered ones.
I'm not a fan of white-bordered lands. I'm not. I'm just gonna come out and say here.
He has it specifically for the reason that he can find them quicker.
Sure, they just look hideous. Oh, no, I don't mind Portal 3 Kingdoms lands. I also don't mind white-bordered dual lands. Those are acceptable.
Would you like some tea and crumpets, Your Honor? Get down off that high horse.
Well, actually, it's almost time for a game of croquet.
Croquet.
With my contemporaries at the Gentlemen's Club.
Contemporaries? This is all.
Why do I associate with such vagabonds?
So.
Anyway, I apologize for that.
Draws
Actually, I don't.
Equal to power, correct?
Yes. So you can pump up the beast with
draw a million cards, then attack.
Wolf Run and draw a bunch of cards. And so he's pillaring they're just fine. And so now he's just attacking and running right into a Azorius Charm. Yeah. So Charles is probably seeing the error of his ways here. What's he do here?
He's
going to draw 3.
Draw 3.
Well, I'd like to pump here. It can backfire a little bit if Chris is unsummoned, but again, if you follow these decks, they don't play unsummoned and they don't play that much counter magic.
Right.
So if you know how these decks work, if you know what these decks are looking like now, so Charles probably doesn't follow these things too closely. So my guess is he doesn't know how much counter magic he has, or if he has unsummoned, or what to play around. And actually, Flash can get a lot of advantage from players not knowing what to play around.
That's fair. I think for me, the play I would have made is to pump pre-combat, drawn a million cards, and then if he kills my token, I don't feel bad because I have a full grip.
Well, what if you have Searing Spear or unsummoned?
Then he gets me.
Right.
And that could be a reason why Charles wanted to.
And also, if you're going all in on the, and there goes that Garrick, yeah. If you go all in with the Wolf Run play, you don't need to pillar the mage either.
Right. So maybe a little bit of a misstep by Charles.
Let's see what those 3 cards do for him here. 2 is probably Farseek. That's with that much mana in play, that Farseek is not what you want here. So Charles has 3 cards in hand, and Chris has, I think, 4 or 5. So there's a Supreme Verdict, some lands. It's fun trying to guess what the cards are before Chris flicks them away.
I'm pretty
Another
sure
Revelation. That Revelation is backbreaking here.
Yeah.
Because one more Revelation, and Chris has a full hand.
This game is going to get really out of hand for Charles.
And this game is a textbook example of why Sphinx's Revelation is so good.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Makes me want to start playing Dresses.
Boy, I gotta love this if I'm Chris on spending pillars to take out tokens. And there's there's 6 more cards.
That's so brutal.
Yeah, this game is and there's the pillar, an augur, a snapcaster, and some more lands.
And a pike.
Yeah, and Chris has all the ingredients he needs here to serve up something spicy.
Yeah, that pike is going to end this game pretty quickly, because now Chris can start pointing his Thought Scours at himself.
And there's Augur Bolus. Augur hits. A Thought Scour. So
Wow.
there's 2 Thought Scours plus a Pike. And Chris is completely in the driver's seat here.
Yeah, he's got to be loving life right now.
So this
So
is probably
2
the Pike.
non-blue lands for the Pike. And you think he just goes to discard? Throws out some lands?
Might as well. You don't need that many lands. So Pike's play one of them. Because he has 9 cards, discarding 2.
Yep.
Okay, and
Now do you...
might just be 8. I can't. He flicks his cards so fast I can't tell entirely. There's some number of cards. Yeah, it is 9. Okay.
Now
And 2 lands.
one small thing...
He didn't
would you
equip.
would you assume that Charles has some sort of removal in his hand because he has cards he hasn't played yet? Would you have tapped your
More than Hunt?
yeah?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Maybe you can make a spirit and still get in there with the you can suit something up with the Pike and then use
Do you
the
have a
Pike.
Restoration Angel? Because if he has a Restoration Angel, this makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense with restoration. I can't.
I, you know,
This is
it's blitz speed shuffling here.
yeah. I don't think so. I'm gonna say I don't think. I see like some red cards over in Charles' hand here.
Yeah.
So it's black, red, Ultimate Bright, Elmore's. Okay. Thought Scour. What do we find here? Another pillar. And another land. Okay, so play the other one.
I think that's a Snapcaster.
No, oh, okay.
So yeah, he's going to end a turn.
The Snapcaster and Thought Scour is fine too.
Ooh, that's a good card. Charles, wish you'd seen that a little earlier.
Well, not with the pillar in Chris's hand. This is
Yeah.
it's way too late for the shaman to do much now. And Charles only has 1 card in hand, and Chris should put this away pretty easily.
Yeah, he's going to be swinging in for a pretty substantial amount of damage next
And then
turn.
just Thought Scour here.
Yep.
There's the Thought Scour. And he draws Think Twice, which one was 1 mana short of being able to flash that one back.
I don't think he wants to at this point because he wants to just get as much Pike
Quick a
damage.
pillar, quickly attack.
Don't tap the Moorland Haunt. There we go.
Okay, it's 1, 2, 3,
4, 5, 6. Is that
9.
Is that 9?
Yeah.
Wow, that's huge.
Oh, it was 7, so he was 9. Okay. And notice Chris is helping Charles with his dice here. All right, kids. It really is important to use the dice so we can tell what your life total is.
Yeah. Yeah. It is helpful.
Yeah. A shame on those players who don't do that. Please be courteous to others so we can tell what your life total is.
Oh, Greg. So we got Charles in the tank here.
It's kind of like the old days we rented a movie and didn't rewind it.
Yeah. Be kind, kids.
All right, Charles is tapping for 6. He's we're overloading here, and this time the Moorland Haunt can finish the job.
Yep.
Pretty easily at that. And Chris correctly does that. There goes the Snapcaster. There go, and in play comes the Spirit. It looks like Chris is getting in the spirit of the holidays here.
Just flashback Think Twice. And playing a land, equipping Pike.
Is that good? Is that enough, or are we a little bit short here?
He's got an Azorius
You can
Charm.
draw cards. Yeah, draw cards in the Zorius Charm and pump up the Pike a little bit here.
I think he's going to count before damage goes through.
Let's see. So if it's 7, should be at 2, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So you could Azorius Charm, draw a card, and potentially win the game right there.
Well, he's got more creatures in his graveyard for the Moorland Haunt, so he probably just figured he'd get it either way. There's not a lot of cards that beat him there.
You're in no hurry.
Yeah.
And Abrupt Decay could do it, but that anyway, Charles doesn't seem to have it. Did not draw Abrupt Decay and picks up the cards.
All right.
So this is a matchup where I'm big. Actually, I just mentioned Abrupt Decay a minute ago. Charles doesn't have any in his list, and personally, I'm a big fan of Abrupt Decay here because it gets those Pikes, no questions asked. And the Pike's one of the ways that you lose this matchup.
Yeah, I at least have. I mean, I like it. I honestly like 2 in the main deck because of how aggressive the format is right now. But
Correct.
I at least like having some in the sideboard at a bare minimum.
Okay, so Charles has 4 Duress, 2 Reverberate. Reverberate, I guess, is a way to beat the counterspells.
It's also kind of funny to reverberate people's bonfires back at them. I've always found that to be amusing.
No. Reverberate makes a copy. So I believe Reverberate's a copy, right? And Redirect's the one that turns it back on him. So I think you're thinking redirect, which is the blue one.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so
right.
Reverberate makes a copy.
Make a copy of
So Reverberate beats the counter spells because you can turn the, you can
Yeah,
make a
you
copy
can make
and
a
stop
copy of
them.
their
It
counter
doesn't
spell.
stop counterflex, but it stops the other ones. So Reverberate, this is the matchup. This is the matchup where Reverberate's what you want.
Yeah.
And there's also 4 duresses, so those come in.
Yeah.
Probably some of this clunky removal. Oh, he does a 2 replicate. I stand corrected. So there's some of the clunky removal like Dreadbores and stuff with the bloodline. Some of these like really big, heavy, blunt instruments aren't what you want for this matchup.
Yeah, so Chris has a couple of, is it Statocasters times 3 in his sideboards? Those are not coming in.
No.
He has an extra Supreme Verdict. Probably not coming in.
I like Tameo here.
Yeah, Tameo seems good. It's got 2 Rolling Tumblers. Those aren't coming in. I like the Nagi.
What's that, Jace? Oh, Jace Memory Depth. I'm a fan of Jace Memory Depth here, too.
Yeah, because this is definitely a match where there's not a whole lot of pressure early. So
right, a couple activations can put this game out of reach and becomes more of a protect the queen kind of thing, which you can just have to do, especially with more than that.
Right. And besides that, he's got Rest in Peace, O-Rings, and some Dispels.
So I don't think you want to bring any of those in here.
No,
so,
you could bring an O-Ring if you wanted to. But...
So I'm Charles. The plan is Duress. The plan is Reverberate, and I'm probably taking out the Mortars. I'm taking out Dreadbore. I'm taking out Sever, and probably a couple Pillars. I want a couple Pillars in my deck still.
Well, depending on how well Charles knows this matchup, like if he knows Chris's list by heart, then yes, the Mortars are coming out. But if he doesn't, then he might leave the Mortars in because of the color combination that he's in, thinking there might be a Geist Saint trap.
Possibly. Mortars is just so slow.
Yeah.
It really is a. It just feels like, again, it feels like, you're the big hulking ogre and like most fantasy movies, the big old club, and every hero can move out of the way and dodge it and then get you, kick you in the knees or whatever.
Absolutely.
And like that's why like John needs to evolve and to stand a chance in this matchup. The name of the game is Instant Speak. That's what you need to do. You need to meet them.
Yeah.
You need to meet them right there with Instant Speed removal, and that's where Ultimate Price and that's where
Abrupt Decay.
Abrupt Decay are good. Yeah. Thunder Mahokites, which I like in this matchup too.
Yeah.
Because it picks off all those tokens and lets you get in for a bunch. So okay, it's good. I can get behind that. And like you pointed out, Death Ray Shaman is pretty important in this matchup too.
Yeah, he's a good man.
And he's good if he was good when played early, but we saw some examples where when he comes into play late, he's pretty bad. But
yeah, I mean he has all the targets in the world, but he's usually too late to actually make a difference in the game. So what do you think Chris takes out of his main deck here?
Probably I don't want to say Pillars, but now that he knows there's Death Ray Shaman, you can't do that.
I don't mind taking out this charm.
That's reasonable. You were bringing a couple cards for Chris, right?
Yeah, Chris is probably only bringing in a Tameo, maybe a Jace.
Like I've taken down Dogger or two before too. Not hated that play, but because there's Death Ray Shamans, you kind of want the Pillars there anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe a Verdict. I don't think you need 2 Verdicts in this matchup. Like one's good. I like your Verdict. So I could see like possibly a Verdict in the Charm, or
I like the Charm coming out,
or possibly an Augur too. Because Augur gets worse if we start taking out the instants and sorceries too.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna miss more often, and we're bringing in a couple Planeswalkers, so I could see those going as well.
Yeah, one of the things that Charles might want to sideboard out in this match is the Dreadbores. And
right.
It turns out they would actually be good against the cards that Chris is bringing in. So Chris might actually know that if he knows this matchup well.
So he knows if I know.
Yeah.
This sounds like a little Princess Bride reference there, right?
That's reasonable. Trying to remember exactly. No.
Alright, so Charles is going to start us off here. I see Blood Crypt. I see no green source by a Farseek. So I see looks like a Slaughter Games, which I don't...
We've talked about this before in commentary. Slaughter Games is not a catch-all. It's not like bringing an Oblivion Ring against a sideboard for a thing you can't deal with.
I'm probably in Revelation here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's defensible, but I don't like it.
Yeah.
So, he kept the hand with no green source.
That's a little rough. Let's see if Charles can Mize and get out of it.
He's not. So he has Mountain, Blood Crypt.
He
really
didn't
needs
even draw another land.
Yeah. I mean, if this match, if he doesn't draw another land, then he was smart to not take his coat off.
That's reasonable.
Did we hit it? We hit a Duress. Okay. So what do we find here? Azorius Charm, negate,
Two Thought Scours, and some more lands. So I guess you take,
You take negate.
yeah.
Because, the reasoning for this,
everything else.
you see why, right?
Because he wants to Farseek.
And Chris will snap.
He will snap that off, because Charles has already missed one land drop, and
Correct.
he will not be able to do it fast
Negates
enough.
Negates the play here for sure.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot of point in getting one thought scour here. There's always term you can play around. It's not that good in this matchup either. It's got to be the negate. And he takes, what do we take here?
Takes
And
the
negate. Okay, it correctly takes the negate. Very good. Okay. So now Charles in dire need of a green source.
Yeah. At least Charles has a little information going forward.
And Chris doesn't have a lot of pressure early here.
Yeah.
A lot of card draw, so he's probably going to burn some of those card draw spells to find some more action, put some pressure on Charles. Especially knowing that Charles missed a land drop here. And looks like a Thundermaw,
Wow.
I think.
That is a pretty bad draw.
Yeah, there's Thought Scour getting a Snapcaster Mage. And Thought Scour, yep, correctly burning through his library here. There's another Snapcaster and a Hollow Fountain, and we draw Think Twice. Alright.
It's pretty good. Now he has a Snapcaster for that negate.
And there it looks like a Sulphur Falls. Oh, Steam Mets. Well, that's a red source, so most importantly. And that, so Think Twice. What else is he got? Think Twice, 2 Azorius Charms, and the Snapcaster is his hand right now.
So now he's got that Steam Vents into play untapped. Cavern Naming Beast.
Can you cast anything with that?
No, he's just it's for future.
And that was a one up in Charles' list, I believe. 2 of.
Okay. I was gonna say because Charles always gets those against me, so I couldn't believe that would be a one of.
Yeah. There's 14 green sources here.
Yeah, you'd think he'd hit one. I still am a little on the. I probably wouldn't have kept that hand myself.
Yeah. So generally, when I play this deck, my version has one more forest. This is a good match. Oh, here it goes. Okay, that's a critical example of why.
Yeah.
I run the 3 forest version with more Garrett, but more Sean Norton's list was look like. This one has more of varied mana base.
So if you're Chris here, do you think you negate this now that he's up to 4 mana?
Oh, he's got rewind. Probably not.
No. Now you just think about countering the real spells.
Right, but
because now he can keep that Snapcaster for the rewind in the future.
Joke's on Chris Tong. He's got Slaughter Games. Can't counter that one. Oh.
Gotcha.
And remember, it's important to know with Slaughter Games, you don't name the card until the spell goes to resolve. Until the spell resolves. So you say Slaughter Games, then you name the card once the spell is resolved.
Is there anything in this current standard format that could make that spell not resolve?
Well, actually, it's relevant because if you go...
if somebody casts, say, a Restoration Angel...
And then you can respond with Restoration Angel knowing that's what they're probably going to name. Or what they're committed to naming. So one of the old tricks was one of the old tricks back in the day was a card called Persecute, where you name a color and they discard all cards of that color. You go Persecute blue and they go Resolve, so you name black, and that's something that's very much not okay. So he's got Thrag Tusk here, Charles has Thrag Tusk, and that's going to get rewound pretty quickly, I would think.
That cavern named Beast.
Right.
Get rewound.
Cannot rewind that. Correct. I'm sorry.
So that's pretty good for Charles. All that damage that Chris did is completely rewound.
Oh, wow!
Not a real joke.
I missed that one. Wow. Point for Caleb.
Negative point for Caleb.
Yeah, they're contagious, aren't they?
Yep. So for Chris here, he's got a whole bunch of draw cards and pretty much nothing to do.
He's got that auger. Just not. Well, you probably want to get busy with the Think Twice here and start drawing a bunch of cards.
Yeah, he might even think twice and cycle that Azorius Charm. Or he might, because charming a Thragtusk always feels really, really bad.
I'm okay with taking 5 here and just drawing a bunch of cards, and then investing in next turn. Like, is this Slaughter Games? No? That's Thundermaw. Okay, that's not resolving. There's no way. That can't hit play. And I think you just take the 5 here, right? He's Azorius Charming, okay. Well, you know what's coming up next turn. Another encounter.
Oh, he's gonna Thought Scour Charles.
Is he? Yep, there it is.
Wow.
Nice play by Chris. Nice. There it goes.
Very nice, Chris Hahn.
There it goes.
That was beautiful.
And we tell you, a beast is much easier to deal with than Threat. And there's Jace. So we can protect the queen very easily.
That is what, in my business, we like to call a piece of candy.
Yes, sir. And there's Jace Memory Adept milling the 10s. And now, He's well positioned to protect it too. Yeah. There's one, two,
Matt, yeah.
very sweet. There's Reverberate and Duress. So I think he boarded pretty close to how we said he was going to board.
Yep.
And so now the onus is on Charles to do something about that Jace.
About that
He's
Jace.
got to put it in its place.
That was a good draw on Charles's part.
That was. No, but what's in Chris's hand? Pillar of Flame? Stop shit. Oh, gosh, I hate that shit.
He has a Pillar of Flame and he has a, is it Charm?
So he can stop, and speaks of Revelation in the land. Okay, so he can stop the beast
Barely.
going forward. Protect a little differently, he could have actually straight up killed the beast.
Yeah.
I don't know if Chris necessarily cares though. He's probably just gonna throw the Augur Bolus in front. Well, actually, not with the
Yeah, with the
Wolfrun can't do that
it
anymore.
changes the math.
So he can pump it up to 3, make it 6/3. So that means he has to block. He can block with the Augur and keep Jace around, but Jace will be at 1.
Which is okay because 1 is like being a virtual.
And
4.
Charles taps out for it too, which is also important. Oh, Rakdos return, and there goes the Izzet Charm. Stops that. Stops it cold.
I imagine Charles he tanked about that decision for a while. Why wasn't there an attack? He didn't want to trade the beast? Okay, that actually makes sense.
Because he'd be trading the beast for either Augur or Snapcaster.
And that's a horrible trade because you have that Wolf Run in play.
So, I think so. You like going on the Wolf Run there?
I prefer it because there's less. I don't know. I don't like tapping out. I guess there was a good chance.
So,
like if that resolved, he kills Jace with it.
He drew Restoration Angel, by the way. Chris did. And he's also got a Sphinx of Revelation. So Chris is well in hand. Got these well in hand here. I think I just get the Snapcaster down. Excuse me. I would Restoration Angel here and then probably just rewind.
Yeah. That seems extraordinarily reasonable.
And that protects. That does a wonderful job protecting your Jace too. I mean, I don't even hate just Revelationing here. Oh, just lets it resolve. He's like, oh, heck. Actually, it doesn't matter because either Revelation or the Angel is good. Well, he can't name Angel, so he's got to name Revelation. Has to, yeah. You had Revelation for a bunch there, but I guess I don't see why you wouldn't do that.
I think he's just protecting about any unknown card that might get him here.
I see. So
because he's all in on the Jace. He's not all in on some sort of damage.
So he wants to protect the Restoration Angel here. He wants Restoration Angel to protect.
Resolve. Yep.
So now when something real comes down here, he can stop it.
Right. And if Charles just goes in with the beast, he can block with an Augur, and then if he goes to pump, he can Snapcaster Azorius Charm and just put the beast back on top. So we see Charles tapping some mana here.
Is this Slaughter Games? This is completely irrelevant.
Yeah.
Because he has flashes of the Angel in response.
I don't know. I've played Slaughter Games before, but every time I see it get cast on camera here, it just never seems to do that much.
Yeah, it's not. It's irrelevant. Because there's something that needs to be answered right away, which is the Jace, and Slaughter Games doesn't do that. I mean,
I don't know what's in Charles' hand.
So
he had another Thragtusk.
So he blinked the.
I don't think he has enough cards in his hand.
So yeah, instead of Slaughter Games here, what would you play?
I would have played a Thragtusk.
Well, how about for deck? How about for the deck? I think you just don't bring it out. You just don't board out.
No, I wouldn't have brought in the Slaughter Games.
Right. So it looks like he names Revelation anyway. But this stops all of that. But again, Charles' library is being whittled away pretty quickly here. Yeah, like the problem is you just need cards that affect the board.
Yeah.
Even the Sorcery Spirit removal we condemned earlier is better than Slaughter Games here.
Yeah.
Like the Dread Boars would have been good, knowing that Jace was coming in.
Yeah, of course. Charles probably couldn't have predicted that a single Jace was coming out.
Charles did bring in Rakdos Return, which I'm not necessarily a big fan of here.
It's not in his main deck?
No. I don't think. Nope. There are none in the main, so he brought those in.
Okay.
He also brought in Slaughter Games, also brought in Duress. Looks like he probably brought in too many sideboard cards and diluted the threat density of his deck. Which, by the way, is something you can do if you sideboard in too many reactive cards, like Duress, like Slaughter Games, then that means you're not as aggressive as you need to be. And Staffman came in too. Wow, so there's a lot. And Reverberates. There's a lot of cards coming out of the sideboard. So that means there will be some cuts made. Most of the removal spells we mentioned earlier probably went. Because I haven't seen too many of those.
Yeah, and I've seen most of his creatures hit the bin, so I don't think he sideboarded out any of the creatures.
So probably all the slow removal spells, all the pillars, probably some of the instant speed removal too had to go. Either way, I'd like to keep the speed removal there, and probably not that many sideboard cards.
Yeah, don't think Charles has a lot of lines here that actually get him out of this.
No. This rank test. Oh, I don't know. Okay. Well, that helps. What's Chris have here? How do we stop that? Is that a revelation in his hand? No, it was an exile. I can't tell what the other card is. He's going to go for Jace. Are you successful? Just thinking about something. Oh, and the beast is coming in now, which doesn't seem correct. You look at your level, you can double block and trade off for something bad. Yeah, Chris gives him that trade immediately. Oh, okay, they're all attacking Jace, so he just lets CS.
Yeah, so he doesn't need to.
Yeah. All right, so now we gotta go to Plan B, which is kill with damage.
Well, it depends how many cards are in. Yeah, there you go.
So Chris drew Supreme Verdict. So it looks like he's probably going to give you 6 damage to Charles and Verdict here. Because otherwise he's losing this race.
Yeah. I wish I knew what the third card in his hand is. I know he has a Pillar and a Verdict and what looks like a multicolored card, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
Is it a Restoration Angel?
I can't tell.
I think it's a Restoration Angel. If it's a Restoration Angel, that's a very reasonable card.
It might be Restoration Angel, yeah. So we should have some in the future match table with a ruler, so we can wrap somebody who shuffles cards too fast.
It's just lucky that we can actually see his hand. Sometimes people hold their cards so close to the chest that you can't see anything. So
that's true. We could use Judge and hand model Matt Redwick to slap hands on camera.
That would be reasonable.
I mean, I suppose then Matt would have a second hand use.
I'm glad you didn't choose the other word that would have gone there. This is a family show, Greg.
I chose the G-rated one.
All right. From Charles in the tank here. I like that he's in the tank because it looks like he might be ahead, but
I see a Farseek.
He's definitely not.
Well, you don't feel like you're ahead. He's got Garrick, he's got Farseek, and he's going for Huntmaster here.
That's reasonable. Puts more creatures on the board, gains him some life.
And I think we're going to and this is playing right in the Supreme Verdict, but there goes Charles for 8. So would that put Chris to 10 if he doesn't do anything here? I like just going to 10 and then verdicting. I don't hate that. I think that plays fine.
I'm curious. There's no real way to tell how many cards are in Charles's graveyard.
At least 30. So
no, I mean, I'm sorry, library. My bad.
I guess somewhere around 15, 16.
Really? Because I think he hit him with it 3 times.
Right.
3 times, plus his hand, plus his turn. It couldn't possibly be that many. It's got to be less than 10 at this point, right?
Think so? Okay. And there's the Angel. There's the Snapcaster. Oh, what's that play here? Is it Charm? He's going to use Is it Charm to mill, I would assume. Oh, I see what he's doing. He's blocking.
Very nice.
And then using it to pick off the elk.
I think that's a trade he'll take all day.
Yeah, that seems fine.
Yep. So now he's back to winning the race for now, and he can still has that Supreme Verdict in back pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks like maybe 11 cards at most.
Because Chris also has Pillar to pick off the Huntmaster here too when he goes to untap.
Yep, and then he's actually ahead. Right,
he's staring on the barrel of 2 tokens, but that's not...
Well, he does still have a Wolf Run and a decent amount of mana, but that requires Charles tapping out every turn to try to raise.
Yeah, Charles' library is not
very thin.
Not what it used to be.
No.
So
Chris on goes to draw.
That's a Dissipate, yep.
Wow, that's a good one.
It is. Now the Angel can come in.
Yeah, send in Snapcaster?
Probably. I think I'm okay with doing that.
Yeah, I don't mind a trade here. Did he pass the turn?
No attacks. So, what's stopping him from attacking with Cassie Wolfrun and going nuts with the beast?
I think pretty much nothing.
But again, this is the problem of playing around Flash is you don't know what to play around from Charles' perspective. See, we can see it's Chris's hand, so we know he has nothing, but Charles doesn't know that.
Right.
So Charles is going to have a little more difficult time figuring out what to play as. Chris could have anything.
Yeah, he has all that untapped, all that untapped mana, And a graveyard full of spells with a deck with Snapcaster Mages.
And more angels and counter spells. You just don't know what to play around.
Yeah. That's why usually when I'm playing against this deck, I don't play around. I just jam and see what happens.
Make them have it.
Yep.
They don't always. And that plays right into Dissipate. And if Charles had Charles going with the Wolf Run there, he would have been good. As is a couple of the
Farseek. Thin my deck. See if you can get me with the Thought Scour.
Oh, you try to grab a forest with it? The previous one was a forest. And Chris is calling him on it. But you know what? It's been a full turn cycle. If I were called over, I would do nothing. It's too late. And I don't think it matters to them. I don't think Chris cares that much anyway, just pointing it out. More of an FYI kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, not rampant growth. And it's actually not that bad that it's not rampant growth. All the dual lands running around. So Chris definitely in the driver's seat here. Is he trying to mill him out here?
So once again, the Wolf Run play is looking correct. How many cards we don't know how many cards are in his library. We can't tell.
It's definitely in the single digits. I would say 7 to 8.
Oh, 2. It's like only 2.
Well, it can't be that few.
No, it's not that many.
Well, Charles has thinned his own deck a little bit.
By Farseeking?
Chris is definitely trying to deck him here.
Another Thragtusk.
Another Thragtusk. Okay.
Should be getting aggressive with the Wolf Run, shouldn't we?
Yeah, I don't know why things haven't been attacking.
There's the Angel. Yeah.
So now, Chris can almost literally just kill that other Thragtusk and then Supreme Verdict and wait for a turn or two, and Charles will
be that much closer to decking himself.
Yeah.
So there's another land, and tapping 4. Supreme. There's the Verdict. Okay. The Verdict is lots of dead creatures, and there's a beast. And that should be much easier for him to deal with. Probably has an Azorius Charm in hand to stop it. So now it looks like Charles is probably going with the Wolf.
He's got at least 3 cards there.
Okay, so there it is. And he's going in, and there's our Azorius Charm. There it is.
Oof.
Yep.
That is brutal.
Yeah, that's now Charles is Chris is at 15. Charles has no pressure whatsoever. I don't think it matters if Chris's hand is all lands and a ham sandwich at this point. Yeah, 3 cards. Yeah.
Now 3 cards left in deck. Charles passes a turn.
Another
Chris
Plains.
passes back.
Yeah, look at him.
Does Charles have creatures left in this deck?
No. There's one. Olivia.
We've got an Olivia.
Creature is a creature is a creature. Is a Snapcaster.
Snapcaster.
And Thought Scour
Thought
him, and that mills him out. That'll do it.
Wow. That's the turn.
And milling completes, and Chris Hong takes it down. Well played, Chris. There, I like that.
Yeah, that was an excellent performance by Chris.
It's very one of the best players at our FNM for sure. And plays like that just prove it. Congratulations on